No, don't do it. The pain is too much. It will kill me.
He shudders as fresh waves of pain.
Leave, while you still have a chance.
He passes out, mid-sentence from the... The man doesn't respond.
Stop! Yeah! Stop!
His face goes slack as the pain renders him senseless. The man doesn't respond.
I can't fight. I'm too weak. Please.
My dear Lord Ahu, you should have told me you were expecting visitors.
Run, you fools!
That, I'm afraid, is a matter of perspective. From where I stand, all of you...
Why, Kim? Why betray everything for which you once stood?
Betray? I didn't betray the Order. As one of Lucian's pawns, I stood for weakness, frailty. And then the God King showed me the world. He promised me a path unburdened by Lucian's pathetic need to defend the defenseless. He promised me a lasting seat at his glorious table in return for my oath. And now, Godwoken, I uphold the final act of my oath. Your execution. You can forget about finding Lucian. Believe me, no good comes from our so-called divine. That poison peddler. A swamp frog is a more potent warrior. Let me show you the power of that.
right where I want you. glint in the dark of his eye, the spirit of Kem sneered.
I am sworn to the king, and sworn I remain, Godwoken. I owe you nothing. My aims were, are, no less than the God King's triumph. That's all you can know. Enough! Is it not obvious to you? To own the city is to own the cathedral, to own the tomb, to own Lucian. Lucian is the key. The seven may be dead, but their essence still lives within his rotting corpse. When the God King claims that final pearl of divinity, his reign, imagine it, Godwoken, a pure and perfect world. Cowards will no longer beg for scraps at warriors' feet. The fruits of our own labor will belong only to the divinity held within Lucian's cadaver, belongs only to the King's chosen. And you are not worth. My master requires nothing less than the dead divine lying in its most famous tomb. There is still the wisp of the seven residing within him. A single wisp separating the rightful king. It matters not if you defeat every last lich whose bones have risen in my master's honor. With or without me, with or without Ishmael, the God King rises.
With a glint in the dark of his eye, the spirit of Kem sneers at you.
What? No! No!
The spirit watches you, composed and dignified, even in death.
Of course you do, Godwoken. Why else would you seek out a tired old spectre like... But what you ask was expressly forbidden by the Divine. Lucian was so intent his tomb remained sacred that he enacted the sorcerer pogrom. Better to silence all sorcerers than to chance a Godwoken arising. His paranoia was so great, he saw to it that his tomb was turned into a fortress to thwart the likes of you. I swore to uphold his wishes. But that was before the Voidwoken. I know. And so, I am not one to break an oath lightly. But I'm also not one to ignore the truth. Not when it's written in my own blood. The void nears. I'd sooner the future be in the hands of a Godwoken than with the Black Ring. Nobody knows every step of the way to Lucian's tomb. But I'll do what I can for you. First, you must get past the Path of Blood. An amulet filled with Source, paired with the Scroll of Atonement, will let you by unharmed. A man named Saunders was the engineer who designed the Path of Blood. He works as a toy seller now, right here in Arx. Tell him that I sent you. He will give you what you need. Put the amulet on and charge it up by consuming Source. Once it's got 5 charges in it, it'll be ready to go. Bring the amulet and the scroll to the Path of Blood. By the statue of Lucian, there is a hidden mechanism. Set the fully charged amulet in the hidden receptacle, then read from the scroll. But beware, many obstacles remain. I can help with only one. The Death Room is a chamber of many levers. 5. Each lever is named for a virtue of the divine. Find the levers whose initials spell the word power. Select these 5 and these alone. Then ask. The divine cannot be asked such questions, Godwoken. Besides, I trusted him. He must have had his reasons. I just hope he'll forgive me for breaking the oath I swore. He said that if anyone were to approach his remains, then the world would be left vulnerable to the void. It was not for me to question how. Farewell, Godwoken. The Hall of...